Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Tech Shots. Myself Subhendu, and hope all of you are doing good. So by seeing the screen, we can understand that today we're going to discuss about Python interview question answer series. So these days it has been observed that most of us, like software professionals, also I can say people from different backgrounds as well, we are very much interested of holding such job roles like data scientist or Python test automation developer role or Python product developer role. Especially I have seen freshers, they are very much aggressive of holding this kind of job roles. Also I can say people who are struggling with their current job roles and trying to switch to some other job role where Python is very much required. But one genuine issue I have seen, like before going for this kind of interviews, we are very much confused about what kind of questionnaire, what kind of problem statements should we prepare, or what would be the right approach should we take in front of interviewer while deriving solution for a particular problem statement. So keeping those things in mind, I thought of creating this Python interview question answer series, as because I have been working in this IT industry for last 19 years and so far I have been associated with 11 different organizations. That means I have been interviewed by a lot of people. At the same time, I have been part of this interview panel for more than a decade now. Also, I have trained more than 400 engineering professionals as well. That means I also interviewed a lot of students and engineering professionals. And now I can say I am having a great repository on these interview questions for Java, Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, Groovy, etc. etc. For the time being, I am going to create this series on Python, and later on I'll be coming up with more series on different programming languages as well. According to the plan, I am going to include around 70 to 80 problem statements in this series, and I can ensure if someone goes through at least 50% of it, he or she will be very much confident about cracking this kind of interviews. So requesting everyone, if you want to follow this series, please start from the very first problem statement and do not start from the middle of it, as the questions have been designed in such a way so that it would help to enhance your conception gradually on Python. So let's get started with our first problem statement, and I am quite sure this session gonna be a very interesting session, as this is one of my favorite question and this question is frequently asked in interviews. So let's get started. Let me move to the next slide. So this is our first problem statement, and it says write down a Python program to sort characters and numbers to get the desired result, as the alphabet should be printed first and then numbers. So in interview, you will be given an input string like B3A1D5 and the expected output would be ABD135. Now if we see the expected output carefully, we can easily understand the requirement. First we need to print the alphabets like ABD, and that would be in shorted form, and it would be followed by the numbers 135, that would also be in shorted form. Now let me show you the most easiest and convincing approach that you can take in front of interviewer. Moreover, I'll be showing you two different approaches. In first approach, we'll be using simple for loop to get the solution. In the second approach, we'll be using two advanced Python features. One is list comprehension and the second one is joining of two lists and return it as a string. So one more suggestion from my side, whenever you are appearing for such kind of interviews, it could be for Python, Java, JavaScript, TypeScript, whatever it is, try to use the advanced features of that programming language. It would really make difference. It would really add some more values, right? So let me move to VS Code. I am very much comfortable with VS Code. If you are comfortable with any other editor like PyCharm or anything, you can use that as well. And one more request, try to practice with me. It would give you more clarity. It would give you more confidence. Let me move to VS Code. So as I said, I'll be showing you two different approaches, right? In the first approach, we are going to take help of simple for loop. So first of all, we need to create a variable so that we can store that input string. And the input string is B3A1D5, right? Now we need to create two empty lists, one for alphabets, another one for numbers. Right? Now we need to write a for loop so that we can traverse through this input string and we can validate each character, whether it's an alphabet or it's a number. If it is an alphabet, then we'll be adding that character in this alphabets list. If it's a number, then we'll be adding that character in this numbers list. Okay? Let me write that for loop. For char in input string if char dot is alpha. So we are using isAlpha function to ensure whether it's an alphabet. If it is, then we'll be adding that character in this alphabet list using append function. Okay. Similarly, we'll be using isDigit function to ensure whether it's a number. If it is, then we'll be adding that character in this numbers list. Right? Now let me print these two lists one by one, alphabets and then numbers. Okay. Let me run this Python file. So you can see now we are having two lists. One list consists of alphabets, another list consists of numbers. Now if we see the expected output, it is in sorted form. That means we also need to sort this list. So how we can sort list? By using sort function. Alphabets.sort and numbers.sort. Okay. Now again let me print this list. So now you can see this list are sorted ABD135. Now again, if I see this expected output, this is basically in string, but now we are having list. That means we need to convert this list into string. How we can do that? Let me show you. So to convert from list to string, we need to use join function. Let me create one variable first. Let's say alphabets_string equal to dot join. So you need to use join function and we need to pass that list. Let me pass alphabets. Similarly for numbers. Okay. Now let me print this to string. Numbers_string. Let me run this Python file. So now you can see these lists are converted into string ABD135. Now again, if I see the expected output, this is basically ABD135. That means we need to concatenate these two strings, right? This is also very simple. We need to use plus operator to concatenate these two strings. So let me create one more variable, final output equal to alphabets_string. Let me use plus operator and then numbers_string. Now let me print this final output. Okay. Let me run this Python file. So this is our final output ABD135. Now if we see the expected output, this is also ABD135 and we have got the expected result ABD135. Now let me brief once more what we have done. So first of all, we have created one variable to store that input string. Thereafter we have created two empty lists, one for alphabets, another one for numbers. Thereafter we have written one for loop so that we can traverse through this input string and we can check each character whether it's an alphabet or it's a digit. If it's an alphabet, then we'll be adding that character in this alphabets list by using append function. If it is a number, then we'll be adding that character in this numbers list. Okay. Thereafter we have sorted this alphabets and number list, and thereafter we have converted these two lists into string by using join function, and thereafter simply we have concatenate these two strings by using plus operator, right? So I'll be sharing this GitHub repository in description box. So pull this code base into your local machine for your future reference. Okay. So now let me move to the next solution where we'll be using list comprehension for the same problem statement. Okay. And this is kind of an advanced version of Python. So let me move to the next file. So this time we will be using list comprehension for deriving solution for the same problem statement. Okay. Before that, we need to know about list comprehension, right? What is that? Basically, list comprehension in Python is a short and simple way to create a list from an existing list or other iterable by using a single line of code. That means it helps to concise your code and it would hardly involve single line. Now let me show you the practical example so that you would get the actual idea of it, right? Okay, first of all, we need to create a variable to store the input string. And the input string is B3, A1, D5, right? Now let me create one more variable for alphabets. And in list comprehension, first we need to write the expression in the sense char for char in input string. This is your expression, right? Thereafter, you need to put the condition if char dot is alpha, right? That means it would traverse through the input string, right? And it would identify each character whether it's an alphabet. Fine. And if it is, then that character would be added in this alphabet list. Similarly, for numbers, what we need to do? We need to do the same thing. First, we need to put the expression char for char in input string if char dot is digit. This time we are using is digit function because it's a number. Now let me print this list, first alphabets and then number, right? Now let me run this Python file. Now you can see we are having two lists. One consists of alphabets, other consists of numbers, right? Now according to the problem statement, we need to sort this list, right? This time we will be using sorted function and we will put that list comprehension inside it, right? And we need to do this for both the list, numbers and alphabets. Now let me again run this Python file. Now you can see we are having the sorted list ABD135. Now again, according to the expected output, we need to convert this list into string. So we'll be using join function again, but this time we'll be using join function. Along with that, we'll concatenate these two string. How we can do that? So final output equal to dot join function, right? And we need to pass that list. At the same time, we are using plus operator so that we can concatenate these two string. Dot join numbers. Now let me print this final output. So the final output is final output, right? Now let me run this Python file once more. And now you can see these are final output ABD135 and that is our expected output as well. So let me brief once more what I have done. So first we have created one variable to store that input string, right? And thereafter we have used list comprehension to construct those lists, one for alphabets, another one for numbers, and this time we have used sorted function to sort those lists. And according to the expected output, we need to convert this list into string. So that is why we have used join function this time as well, and we have used plus operator to concatenate those two strings. and this is how we have got the final output, right? So you would find the GitHub repo link in description box, requesting everyone to pull that code base in your local system and practice it as much as possible to gain more confidence, right? So that's all for this session. I'll be coming up with another critical and popular interview question, requesting everyone to follow this series to get more confidence for cracking this kind of Python interviews. Thanks everyone for giving your time. We'll meet in next session. Thanks again.